The world does not need another cover of Baby It's Cold Outside. No one in the world should ever. The catalog should be closed on Baby It's Cold Outside for forever.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done. It's over.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. Mariah Carey's song, though, we started keeping count this year. We're like, okay, every time it comes on, we're going to just add another tally.
Oh,
we're at about 7 or 8 so far,
okay,
which is surprisingly low. But
yeah, it's lower than I
that's
thought
just
it would
listening
be.
to the radio.
So you'd give up Mariah?
I hate to say it, but the one song that I don't even want to name, yes, I'll give it up for a year or two.
Okay.
It's just a little overplayed.
The funniest memes this year that I saw were it's October, time to start thawing out Mariah Carey, or this whole thing, start to call her from the wilderness, like she's she disappears and then she reemerges from the ice. Man. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Day Tripper Podcast. I am Chet Garner, your host, and joining me as my co-host, Mr. Daniel Meese.
Howdy.
Hanging out here over on the couch. It is December 2021, and so we're going to talk all things Texas, a little bit of Christmas, and basically fill y'all in on all the chaos that we've been up to lately. All right, so first off, our sponsor, like always, because we don't have an actual sponsor, so we just sponsor our own podcast.
That's how we do it.
If you're interested in sponsoring, call the number at the bottom of your screen.
Wait, we put a number?
No,
okay.
We don't even have a phone number really up here.
We got an office phone.
We kind of. It's an office store phone. But
I'll put your cell phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here it is, guys. As if I don't get enough calls already. Anyway, it's the Day Tripper World headquarters. It's Christmas. It's December. You need gifts. We have gifts. So we got all kinds of Texas stuff at all kinds of price ranges. But shirts, hats, socks, whiskey glasses made in Texas. Speakers made in Texas, whatever. And if you're listening to this podcast, the code podcast will get you 20% off. So go and plug that in and get your Christmas shopping all done in one magical place. All right. So Christmas time is here. You wanted to start celebrating back in October or November.
I did.
You're part of what's wrong with society, Daniel.
You know what? I've got something to admit. I feel ashamed about it, though. I actually didn't put up Christmas decorations.
What?
Until December.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's
and I only put them on the inside. We don't have any Christmas lights, and my family is very angry with me.
What?
What
a sad,
I know.
Well,
we've been out on the road so much.
Yeah, we have.
And every time I get home, I'm like, do I want to bust out the ladder, climb on the roof? I just don't know, Chet.
Yeah, I did mine this past Sunday. And my son, 13, now I'm like, I'm the dad sitting there with the beer. Hey, hang over there. No, not quite there. But he is very helpful. He can hand me stuff. It's almost like we're finally.
Kids are very helpful when they can squeeze into small places for you and do the things you don't want to do, the dangerous stuff. Yeah,
you're not lying. It stinks to give the Christmas tree water. We have a real tree. Do you have a real tree?
We do not.
Yeah.
No, ours changes many different colors though.
Oh, that's kind of pretty.
So.
Well, but it stinks to crawl on the ground and fill the stupid water, the water of the tree. And so now I've got kids that's your job.
There you go.
Go do it. That's your job. It's kind of fun, before all they did was you waited on them hand and foot. The tables are turning, my friend. Yes. Very slowly. Yes. Very slowly. But we did hang our Christmas lights up. Our neighborhood is not as joyful as it was. Well, last year I think was a low. Yeah. Well, now last year I'm trying to remember back. I can't. There were some people who went way over the top because last year we were still dealing with COVID and people were still at home, so they're like, I'm buying every Christmas light known to man. And I feel like our neighborhood, some people took it way over the top. This year, our neighborhood's not back to where it was last year. I don't know. Maybe people fatiguing out or just kind of not feeling the spirit this year. I don't know. You didn't decorate your house. Is it just busy? Is it just busyness?
For us, it's busy. Yeah, absolutely. We've been on the road a lot this last month.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been doing some cool stuff though.
We have been doing some very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. We'll fill you in just a second. But we've got some things I know everybody's looking for things to go and places to experience Christmas. And so I was going to give you all a little punch list if you're taking notes. Of course, the Hill Country Trail of Lights. You can go to Marble Falls, Burnet, Lampasas. Fredericksburg is great. And let's not count out Georgetown. Our square, I was here last night driving around. It's beautiful.
It's the most beautiful
town square in Texas. Is it the most Christmassy town square in Texas? Not quite.
Grapevine would be up there.
Grapevine's insane.
But I tell you what, Georgetown, lights, beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's
absolutely,
amazing.
absolutely beautiful. And, you go on the weekend. Now, we got all these musicians out, strumming a little guitar.
It's pretty cool.
Playing a little saxophone. Like, that's new. That's kind of new for the Georgetown Square.
I think you should do that one weekend. Gosh. Just get out there with a random instrument. You obviously you won't know how to play it well, but still, just do it.
I wonder how many tips I could get just squawking through Jingle Bells or something like that. There's a new social media account that I'm like, I wish we had thought of that. Sax Squatch. Have you seen?
I remember Sax Squatch.
Oh gosh, yes. He's awesome. For those that haven't seen him, it's just a guy in a Bigfoot costume going around the woods playing the saxophone. It's Sax Squatch. He's great.
That's awesome.
The things that entertain us on the internet. Oh man. Oh, but we drove by a house the other day. This will become this year's destination home. It's here in Georgetown. This guy, no lie, it's a normal-sized home, normal-sized lot. He probably has 50 inflatables in it.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe even like 70 inflatables in it. He went to Home Depot, bought everything. Went to Target, bought everything. Like, he's got so many inflatables, his yard is themed. So, like, the corner is all Star Wars stuff. And then you got Minions stuff. And then you got the Grinch area. And then you got the Frozen area. And then you got, like, I think maybe some Peanuts stuff. Like, insane. We were driving down the road, and it was like, all of a sudden I saw this yard. It's, for those in Georgetown or in the area, Google Zydeco Ice, the snow cone stand.
Yeah.
It's behind Zydeco Ice.
Oh, I'm going.
It's over the top. It's awesome.
It's
cool. Awesome. You got to know this is going to happen if you put up that many inflatables. But like, we were just kind of like, go, turn around in his driveway, go back,
just do it a couple times.
Yeah, back and forth. The kids were loving it.
Oh, that's one of our family traditions. Every Christmas Eve, we put on our PJs, all the kids, even me,
nice,
mom and dad, and we will get hot chocolate, and then we'll drive around and look at Christmas lights.
See,
that's how we end the night.
Christmas Eve. And then you tuck them in their beds when you get back home and do the thing.
Yeah. Get the coal out.
I love it.
Because they're going to all get coal for Christmas.
That's right.
Our youngest is definitely getting coal.
This is it.
I can guarantee that.
Did you ever get coal in your stocking?
I didn't, but I know there's times my parents probably wanted to give me coal.
I did.
And there's
sticks.
Many times I probably deserved it.
Yeah, no, I mean, looking back, I definitely deserved it. But I would get sticks in my stocking. And then pieces of coal. From, I think my parents once, but then my grandpa would, My grandpa was strict. World War II veteran, he was funny and goofy, but when he wanted to put you in line, man, he'd put you in line. Put you in line.
I tell you what, you grow up, it's like, oh, I'd love to get some coal, maybe some live oak, and maybe some, you can give me that kind of charcoal. Like, I'm gonna burn that and make some brisket, baby.
Yeah,
give me the coal.
As adults, I pay money for coal.
Yes,
that's funny. So let's fill everybody in on what we've been up to. We've gone to Kentucky twice. I had never been to Kentucky in my entire life, and I found myself there twice in this past month. Once we went up there for Best Western, and that was phenomenal. We brought our wives. Stayed at a Best Western in Lexington, and did the Bourbon Trail. That was way more tourism focused, and dang, it was awesome. And then we went back. Then we did Thanksgiving, and then the next week we went back for a different project because we are making a documentary for Garrison Brothers, which is of course a Texas bourbon.
Which sounds ironic that we went to Kentucky.
We went to Kentucky to make a video about a Texas bourbon. But if once you see it in 4 or 5 years, I don't know. No, we'll be done before then. But like, we're in this project, and it's just like, oh yeah, we need another interview, maybe another interview, and it's getting bigger and bigger in a good way. It's all for the best. But man, Daniel and I are both bourbon drinkers. And it was like Disneyland, man.
It really was.
Like, I don't know if our wives had as much fun as we did.
No, I mean, I know my wife had fun, but at the same time, it was like at some point she goes, "Okay, that's enough," you know.
All right, Daniel, we're let's go to
It's
bed
like
now.
even the
son.
adults at Disney World go, "Okay, I'm ready to go back to the hotel."
Back,
you know?
yeah.
So,
But we didn't really overdo it, and I feel like we didn't.
Wait, we didn't overdo it?
I mean, well, we didn't overindulge ourselves. We stayed level-headed the whole time, but like we could have. One day we went to 2 distilleries. If we were insane, we would have squeezed in 5.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
no,
we gave them time.
We didn't overdo it with how many distilleries we went to, but we had a lot of bourbon.
We did have a lot of bourbon. Yeah, we did.
Reasonable amounts
Reasonable
of
amount.
bourbon, but
Like when you're there, you gotta go. You know,
yeah,
it's what you do. It's what you do.
It's what you do.
And it was a lot cheaper in Kentucky than it is here.
That was crazy.
So,
you see things that you don't see here. It was fun.
Yeah. There's a
fun.
selection that you don't find around the Lone Star State. So anyway, that was super fun.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite distillery, like when it's all said and done? Which was your
distilleries that we went to? So we went to Castle and Key, which is the old Taylor distillery, and that felt like you were somewhere in England almost. You know,
Yeah,
it was just like
cool.
it was a castle. It was old. Everything just. And every distillery there is old. It has history.
Oh, yeah.
It's something we're not as used to in Texas. Most of our history only goes back 100 to 150 years.
Yeah.
When you're looking at stuff. And so it's kind of cool when you go and you see something that was built longer ago than that. Or even if it was that old, it's just a different type of history, a different type of everything.
Well, we went to the oldest bourbon bar in America, the Old Talbot Inn and Tavern, which was built in, you remember the date? We have nothing this old in Texas.
I don't remember, but it was
1779.
Yeah.
That's like we were a 3-year-old country. Wait, we weren't even done with the American Revolution. We signed the Declaration in 1776, but we didn't finish the fight until after that. So like this is crazy.
And it's still just standing.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Yeah,
it's like it's not falling apart.
Well, they don't build them like they used to.
Apparently not.
They don't build them like they used to. Anyway, and then in other good news, we humble brag here. We won another Emmy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Emmy
Thank you.
award-winning Daniel Meese.
You as well.
For our, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. The episode was... Where's my brain?
It's like Graham.
It was Graham.
Graham.
That's it.
Okay.
There you go. Graham, Texas.
Graham, Texas,
which is up in the hidden hill country of North Texas.
Sometimes we forget because it's not the current season; it's a season
not the
before.
current season. Yeah, those things kind of lag a year, and then we
Yes.
slept a few times in between then,
Just a few.
and filmed a few times, and so that was super fun.
While you've been listening to this podcast, lots of stuff's been going on in the Lone Star State. This is Meanwhile in Texas.
All right, Daniel, this is where we bring current events from Texas. What you
Current
got?
events. All right. Well, I've got a good one, and this is pretty crazy. I don't think if you've even heard this yet. There's a couple from Lubbock.
Okay.
They were traveling for the weekend to Las Vegas.
All right.
Jared and Christy Owens. They show up to the airport. They're flying Southwest, by the way.
Okay.
They show up to the airport and they're like, "Hey, our luggage is a little bit heavier than we thought," and it was over the limit. And so they're like, "Well, dang, we got to get in there and figure this out." You know.
Okay.
They start going through. The guy opens up his luggage, pulls out his cowboy boots, and their pet Chihuahua is inside of inside of one of his boots.
What?
It hops out and it's like,
How the heck?
freaking out. So, what do you do? It was so funny to me because we've been traveling so much, like having to fly, and I'm like, what would I do? I mean, every time that we go through, I've got nothing to hide, but I always feel like, oh, they're gonna catch me. They're gonna catch me. You know, I'm telling myself like, wait, catch me what? You know, it's just you feel so intimidated going through the line.
Yeah, you do. Pocket knives.
I know, and that's what I'm always scared.
Pocket knife.
Plus, the big thing too is like, if you have something even small, like let's say a pocket knife or a little pair of scissors or something, they're keeping them. What are you going to do? Mail it back to yourself and spend all that money?
I had my favorite pocket knife that I forgot was in my backpack, and I had to give it away.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I got it as a gift from someone, and it was the perfect knife. I carried it in my pocket all the time, and I didn't have time to run back to the car. So what do? Put in the little luggage, drop, mail slot
thing,
and then it goes to whatever that resale shop is.
What do you think happened to their dog? Just put the dog in the
put it
no,
in
I'm
the
just
mail
kidding.
slot.
So actually, this is what's crazy. You think that's the crazy part? It's actually the story gets even better. The Southwest employee was so amused and just thought it was funny. Clearly, they did not try to sneak the dog in. They were thankful because they're like, this dog probably would have died.
Yeah, you'd have a dead dog in Vegas.
So the Southwest employee said, hey, I don't want your trip to get ruined, so how about I just watch your dog for you? We'll stay in touch, and when y'all get back, I'll give you your dog. She watched the dog for him. She watched the dog, so they still got to go on their little Las Vegas vacation, come back and pick up their dog.
That needs to be a Southwest commercial.
Doesn't it?
You know, they're the Love brand or whatever. Like, that is...
Crazy.
I'll fly Southwest every time. Like,
isn't that cool?
They'll watch my Chihuahua. If that's
when it
awesome.
hides in your cowboy boot.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Okay, so mine, it's similar in the sense that we're talking about small, furry animals. Have you noticed extra squirrels in your backyard?
Not so much where I live because there's a lot of hawks.
Oh,
we're kind of out in the country. But
all right, so we've got extra squirrels. And then, my gosh, the Georgetown Square overrun with squirrels. I've seen more people post pictures of squirrels this year than ever before.
Absolutely.
All right, there's a reason for that. Because the squirrels have gone wild. Squirrels gone wild. So there is actually a boom in the squirrel population all across Texas. Evidently, these furry little tree rats. Do we consider them tree rats, or are they like cute little animals?
We did go hunting for them once.
The jury's out. Well, because we had a very mild winter and we've had a mild summer before that. Well, really the mild summer, mild spring, there has caused this boom in squirrels. Squirrel pups? Squirrel pups? What do you call baby squirrels?
Baby squirrels.
Baby squirrels. Has been an explosion in the population. Plus, we're not hunting as many squirrels as we used to. So I've got some stats from an article that I found on Texas Monthly. It says, this year basically, 43,000 squirrel hunters harvested about 350,000 squirrels this past year.
Okay.
So about, over 250,000. But 20 years ago, you had 100,000 squirrel hunters who harvested roughly 1 million squirrels.
Wow.
A year. So this just tells you how fast that population explodes. And we're not hunting them as much. We're not eating them as much. And so they're running crazy.
Well,
they're gone wild.
People don't really like the idea of eating squirrel, but we tried it, and it really wasn't bad.
No, it's pretty good.
I think because people are calling them rats,
Yeah, tree rats.
Tree rats.
Well, they'll get in your attic. They'll chew through your wiring. They'll do all kinds of damage to stuff.
It's a cute rodent.
Yeah. And the one time we went hunting for squirrels to control the population, we couldn't find a single stinking one. That video's on YouTube, by the way. It's part of our Texas Parks episode, Texas Parks road trip. We're like, man, we got to help this squirrel population. It's out of control. Let's get our shotguns. We're going to do our service to America. They're like, wait, the population's clearly been controlled already. It's not so out of hand. There ain't a single squirrel in the trees. But if you've seen more squirrels, there is a reason. A biological reason. We hadn't had the hard summers and winters that we've had previously, and so they are exploding. And if you want to help control the population, there are places to do that. Grab your shotguns, kids. Or this makes me want to go squirrel hunting more because it was pretty good.
I really didn't think it was bad at all, and it was a fun hunt. That was the other thing too.
It was a very fun hunt. You again, the video's on YouTube to plug it shamelessly, but you don't have to be quiet. You just basically rummage through the woods, and but they had like dogs that had been.
They had very well trained dogs
that were like worth $10,000. So that was why you didn't have to be quiet. But they said if you're going to hunt on your own, you got to be like as quiet as a stick sitting by the trees, or else they'll run around. We had it the best possible way and still didn't get any squirrels. In a hole, let's go.
In a hole,
let's go.
Y'all gotta watch the episode.
Gotta watch the episode. All right, let's move forward to our Texas Music Minute. This is a section where we bring y'all a great Texas song by a Texan artist to hopefully inspire you to listen to more Texas music. Today, we've got one by Gary P. Nunn. Now, this isn't a new song. This is from 2010, but anyway, I was looking at songs about Texas holidays, Christmas, and this Gary P. Nunn struck a chord with me. It's called Swing On Down to Texas for Christmas. Now, I was surprised. You know Gary P. Nunn?
Yeah.
I mean, he feels like a Texas icon, but he was born in Oklahoma. Didn't know this. But anyway, we're not going to hold that against him.
I didn't need to know that.
He's been here long enough. He's been part of the Texas music scene for decades. He was really instrumental in getting Lukenbach, Texas off the ground. And he wrote what many people call the Texas theme song, the London Homesick Blues. I mean, y'all probably know this one. I want to go home with the armadillos. With country music from Amarillo and Abilene. I'll sing the whole thing in the deep cuts from the podcast. All right. Anyway, this is another one. I found it kind of funny that his main song is about being homesick in London and wanting to come to Texas, and this song, in a similar fashion, is about being homesick and wanting to come to Texas. All right, y'all, so here is Swing On Down to Texas for Christmas by Gary P. Nunn.
I'm tired of the snow and the windshield 10 below. My cowboy hat don't cover up my ears. And I never learned to ski, so I keep asking me, what in the world am I still doing here? Think I'll swing down to Texas for Christmas and let that Lone Star guide me on my way. Think I'll swing on down to Texas for Christmas. What better place than Texas for a swinging holiday?
All right, so you get the idea. Good
I like it.
Texas swing, it sets the mood.
I love those kind of songs for Christmas too.
Oh yeah,
They just sound great.
That's why when I found it, I was like, this is good. We're playing Christmas music constantly in our house right now,
nonstop. Hey, have you heard the new Brett Aldrich Christmas album?
No.
Amazing. It's called Glow.
Okay,
it's another one to check out. Honestly, it's one of those albums where you just put it on and every song on it.
Every song is money.
Christmas.
Okay,
it's great. He's like the country crooner.
Yeah. I like
Sounds
Brett
great.
Aldrich. I like him. I like him. Okay, cool. Well, you guys go listen to some more Gary P. Nunn. I believe he's got an entire Christmas album if you kind of want to get into that country Christmas vibe. Man, Sirius XM's got a country Christmas station
Good
all
stuff.
the time. Oh, it's my jams. All jams. But I go back and forth between I want to hear some traditionals.
Yeah.
I want to hear a little bit of the new stuff, Kelly Clarkson, all that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What song do you not want to hear again?
Oh, man. Here, I'll say this. The world does not need another cover of Baby It's Cold Outside. No one in the world should ever. The catalog should be closed on Baby It's Cold Outside for forever.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done. We had a good run. It's over. It's over.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's song, though, we started keeping count this year. We're like, okay, every time it comes on, we're going to just add another tally.
Oh,
we're at about 7 or 8 so far,
okay,
which is surprisingly low. But
yeah, it's lower than I thought.
That's just listening to the radio.
So you'd give up Mariah?
I hate to say it, but the one song that I don't even want to name, yes, I'll give it up for a year or two.
Okay.
It's just a little overplayed.
The funniest memes this year that I saw were it's October, time to start thawing out Mariah Carey, or this whole thing, start to call her from the wilderness, she's she disappears and then she reemerges from the ice.
Oh man, yeah, pretty much.
Oh man, that's too funny, too good. All right, so let's get some questions from the viewers out there.
Are we there yet? Hey, can you pass me the snacks? When are we gonna stop? I gotta go.
All right, I got one here from Vicky Henry. What time do the churches open? Okay, she's talking about the painted churches. Thank you. We are visiting family in Houston and would like to see them. Vicky, I got an answer for you. I have no idea.
I always tell people Google.
Yeah, Google is a magical tool for that. They are all open. I was going to say all are open. I believe. Of course, they start at different times. There's way more churches than you think there are. And the way it works is you just walk in the door and check them out. So usually you don't even see staff at all when you go visit the painted churches. There's a donation bucket, by all means, help support them so they do stay open. It'd be a travesty if they started locking their doors every week, because that's when most people go and see them. And of course on Sundays they will have congregations there, so because they're all active churches. So good luck, Godspeed. You'll love the painted churches. They're beautiful. All right, Jerry Regal. Where are the DVDs, man? I can't find them no more. He didn't say it like that, but
that's how I picture it.
That's how I picture
Sounds great.
him saying that.
Sounds great.
Jerry, bad news. No one's buying DVDs anymore.
Sorry, in general,
man.
just in the world.
In general.
They quit existing.
Now, we do have VHS of all of our episodes if you want one.
They're a beta, actually.
How funny would
beta.
that be? Like, you couldn't even find a place, I bet, to print a bunch of betas of your thing.
No way.
That would be awesome. Like,
we've got a bunch of DVDs in the back, but I've been using them as coasters for my coffee.
Yeah, you're not lying. There was a run there where we were making every episode on DVD. That is long gone. It was like
terrible. One of the worst investments we've made as a company, probably.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And we were doing them individually, thinking there were 500 people out there who want the Van Horn episode.
So if you need 499
Van
DVDs
Horn
of Van Horn,
we started in the shop. We were just stuffing them in bags. Free DVD, which was basically to pass our guilt onto someone else, because then they get it and go, well, it's a DVD. I can't just throw it away.
It's the perfect re-gift. Right?
Yeah, if you need a white elephant gift anytime,
absolutely.
You know what? I've got a white elephant party coming up. I'm going to give them a full set of season 4. It's not even full, like a half set of season 4 Day Tripper DVDs.
I tell you what, we can't ship them out, but if you come by the store and you let us know, we might have a DVD for you.
We got all the Van Horn episodes you want. We got Van Horn, Rockport. It was right in there, season 4, 5, 6-ish. All right. Okay, one more. This comes from Jared Thomas. He's a teacher in Lufkin, Texas. He says, I teach Texas history. Would love to use your videos to show our students. Thank you, Jared. That's awesome. That is awesome. We love it when teachers pull us into the classrooms. There's one out there that we need to show about Gil Ibarbo and the 9 Flags of Nacogdoches. I can't find it. We had it loaded to YouTube. It got removed, which means they copyright uploaded it to YouTube, but that's okay. Your text history teacher will allow it. Can you help me locate it? I can't find it. Besides, those of us from the P&G area have to stick together. He's pandering. I appreciate your time. Jared, keep up the great work. Sadly, the Nacogdoches episode is in cold storage for a while. We lost a lot of the files of sound effects and music stuff, and it won't come out of the freezer for a while.
It's another thing that's thawing right now.
Yeah, that is just like Mariah Carey. Well, she thawed. She's prime right now. So I would love to put that 9 Flags of Nacogdoches scene up on YouTube, but it got stripped of all of its sound effects and stuff like that. And so it's a casualty of the digital world we live in.
Yeah.
It's a benefit because you can go back and change things and reconnect everything, but it's also like if you lose files, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's kind of simmering on the back burner right now.
Back burner. Oh, it's not in cold storage?
Well, I took it out to thaw.
Oh, okay.
So it's simmering now.
All right, very good. All right, guys, so fan rants and musings.
Hey, Day Tripper, I got a bone to pick with you. Oh my goodness, it's the Day Tripper. We love your show.
This is one that I got that I thought was awesome. So this came from Ann. In the Graham episode, she owns the Wildcatter Ranch.
Hey, yeah.
She wrote us a note saying, hey, so we did an episode about Graham, featured the Wildcatter. She said, this made my day. I got this from our GM. We have a guest that extended her stay an additional night. She saw the Day Tripper, booked her stay at the Wildcatter Ranch. She's 83 years old. She came by herself. She calls it her last hurrah road trip. That's sad. But here's what's inspiring. She rode horseback yesterday, and she's going again tomorrow. She asked for pancakes for breakfast yesterday. I served her Texas-shaped pancakes, and we are all tickled pink. She is considering it like the best trip she's ever made, and she's going to tell everybody about the Wildcatter Ranch.
That's awesome.
That's
great.
Yeah, and don't you love it?
And also sad.
I mean, I think she's got a few more road trips in her. She's just being funny. But 83, still riding the horseback around. That's awesome.
Hey, when I get old, I want to go out with my boots on, you know?
That's right.
I don't want to do it at home.
That's right.
Or on a deathbed.
Do
it on the back, on a horse.
On a horse.
Come on.
On a horse.
Let's get out there.
Man, you just, like a Thelma and Louise moment on those cliffs. You just take the horse off.
No.
Into the river. Those cliffs are super high. You get a good take. That's the way to go out with your boots on.
Yeah,
That's terrible. All right, we got another one. We were just in Louisville. You know, and you know that they don't say Louisville.
No,
it's Louisville.
It's all, you almost don't even have the E sound. It's just Louisville.
Louisville.
It's
almost 2 syllables.
kind of like Greenville, Texas.
Greenville.
You don't say Greenville.
Yeah, Vol. V-U-L.
Anybody who's from Greenville says Greenville.
Greenville.
If you're from Louisville, you say Louisville.
Louisville. All right, so it says this. I found your TV show by accident. Really enjoy watching it. They're incredibly informative, superbly produced. Well done.
Thanks.
I settled in Louisville, Kentucky after retiring from 27 years in the Army. My brothers live in Houston. My parents are buried in Marshall. And your show has offered me a connection that I've been missing, seeing that it's very hard to visit my parents since they left us. I thank you for providing me with such an incredible viewing experience. Thanks, Kevin C., Louisville, Kentucky.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin, we love it.
Made my day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. And here's another happy one. I always try to have bad ones, but sometimes
I keep waiting for the bad one.
If you guys hate the show, write in because we would love to talk about it. People are saying only nice stuff. You're like, man, we're not doing our job. We got to have a little bit of conflict out there. All right. Tina, Israel, Bay City. I wanted to contact you and compliment you on how absolutely awesome the Lake Jackson series was. My father's family came from Lake Jackson, and we are all so impressed with your in-depth show. My grandmother volunteered at Sea Center and the museum for decades, and my late grandfather was fire chief there. So thank you very much. The station was dedicated to him. Oh, so he was kind of a Lake Jackson institution.
Awesome.
This is actually from Paul Israel, writing under his wife's email account, evidently. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. Paul Israel is her grandfather who was the fire chief.
There you go.
Yeah, my syntax is lagging behind a little bit now. All right, well, anyway, thank you guys for writing in. That's all I got. If y'all want to write in your comments or complaints, podcast at thedaytripper.com. Podcast at thedaytripper.com. So that's our show for today. Remember, do your Christmas shopping at thedaytripper.com. Use the code podcast for 20% off. And thank y'all very much for listening. Make sure y'all join us in January. We're going to be talking about our 2022 Texas bucket list for the year.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. And we'll look back and see if we hit any of our goals for 2021. I don't think I did.
Some of them.
Maybe. Anyway, y'all tune in. Remember, like this video, subscribe to our channel, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review because that helps people find the podcast, learn more about Texas. So do us a solid. Please make that happen. All right, Daniel, your turn.
Adios.
And from me, via con Dios, amigos.